Well, let's talk about the elephant in the room, guys, and the reason that you're here, Andy. We've got some interesting dirty tricks going on from our Tory government. Surprise, surprise. Yesterday they slashed state funding for opposition parties. Surprise, surprise, surprise. But a couple of weeks ago, they pushed through, or leaked apparently, somebody leaked a cabinet memo saying basically that we're no longer in our local authorities going to have the ability to stop fracking applications. Very, very successful here in Wales in stopping them. Very successful down at Balcombe, Lancashire, other parts of the country. But now the goal of the Tories in this new piece of legislation, which of course was announced during a recess when nobody was around, so it was a take out the trash media day. But here we are facing the very real possibility that there are now going to be special inspectors which will have the ability to overrule anything that a local planning authority does in its attempts to block fracking.
Yeah, I mean, this is about sort of redesignating things because the government's always had that ability with certain aspects of national infrastructure and stuff like that, and it's really reallocating, the fracking issue into that sort of category. It's interesting though, but the Welsh government to some extent has led the way in this because last year they basically passed or put through a measure which basically banned local authorities from taking decisions on fracking-related activity, and it would automatically be called in by Welsh Assembly. The presumption being, that they would then, take away the right for the local authorities to pass it. The hopeful presumption would be that they would, make sure they wouldn't pass it. Right? But by
at least temporarily at the moment, that's the case.
But by their own admission, they can't legally block planning applications currently in the way planning legislation is formed. So there's a lot of work to be done in tidying this all up. I mean, the situation in Wales is somewhat distinct from what's happening in England, but I'm not sure the net effect will be much different.
What is the latest with Coastal?
Well, I mean, they're skint. Their partners, Eden Energy, have basically given up the ghost and basically given back their share of the licenses for the immense cost of £1.
Right. The shame we couldn't get our airport for that price, but that's another
issue. Absolutely. Coastal Oil and Gas is owned by Gerwin Williams, who's trying to build a house just down the road from here, but that's struggling. He hasn't got the money to finish that off. So I think they're in a situation whereby, I think they're beginning to realise that it's not going to happen anytime soon. And Gerwin's an old man now, so he's going to be looking for an exit strategy, I think. Is his next avenue to explore.
Yeah, I mean, and by the way, we're talking about a company locally here called Coastal Oil and Gas, which hold most of the licenses in this area for fracturing. And Andy and I have been partners in fighting Mr. Williams now for the better part of 4 years, if not longer, from the moment they decided they wanted to drill that test well at the Landau estate. We've fought in the local council and many other places to stop it.
And what's interesting as well is that he's recently had some of his licenses in Somerset taken off him, which my understanding is because he wasn't in a position to show any, there wasn't any activity there. The government reserves the right, issues these licenses, but reserves the right to take them back if they think people are just sitting on them with no intention of doing anything with them. So that's already happened to him in Somerset, not because he wanted it to, but simply because he hasn't got the resources to do any meaningful activity there.
Yeah, well, most of these companies are essentially shell companies to begin with. They don't have any. The whole idea is you do the test bore, you drill down, and then you're able to come back and say, oh, there's 987 trillion cubic meters of gas underneath the soil, and then in comes a Shell or a BP or somebody to then take over.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a glorified Ponzi scheme.
And we all know what happens there. Unless you're the first one out.
Get out while you can.
We'll talk a little bit about what's going on locally after our break here.